Magandang araw and good morning to everyone. Happy National Children's Month. I am Kara Uy, Program Development Officer of the ECCD Council, and I will be your host for today. Welcome to the 2025 Early Years Fair. Every November, we come together to celebrate the National Children's Month, a time to remember and commemorate the adoption of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. At syempre, hinding-hindi magpapahuli ang Early Childhood Care and Development Council dyan. Today, we celebrate not just another exciting event, but renew and refresh our shared commitment to every young Filipino. Masaya kaming makasama kayo ngayon. Nandyan yung mga nanonood sa Facebook Live, pati na rin sa YouTube. Kaya comment lang ng comment dahil nababasa namin ang mga ito. Now this year, the 2025 National Children's Month brings about very relevant discussions with the theme Osaek, Sesaem, Wakasan, Kaligtasan at Karapatan ng Bata, Ipaglaban. With that in mind, the ECCD Council adapted the theme Karapatan ng Bata sa Bawat Hakbang, Gabayan, Pangalagaan, Ipaglaban. This highlights our shared responsibility to uphold and promote every child's right, and because we're in ECCD during the early years. Are you excited to find out what we have prepared for the Early Years Fair? May hula na ba kayo sa kung ano ang gagawin natin ngayon? Pero bibitinin ko lang kayo ng konti. Because at this point, we would like to invite the Vice Chairperson and Executive Director of the ECCD Council, Dr. Teresita G. Chong, for her opening message.
Local government units, headed by their respective local chief executives, social welfare development officers from the provincial, city, and municipal levels, ECCD focal persons, barangay official, child development teachers and workers, barangay health workers, barangay nutrition scholars, families, parents, ECCD service providers, and stakeholders. Good day to all of you. The Early Childhood Care and Development Council welcomes you to the launch of the celebration of the National Children's Month, the 2025 Early Years Fair. The Early Years Fair has become an important and essential platform that brings together LGUs honoring the rights of every Filipino child. The right to survival, the right to protection, the right to development, and the right to participate. This year, National Children's Month focused on its theme, Online Sexual Abuse or Exploitation of Children at Child Sexual Abuse or Exploitation Materials, Wakasan. Kaligtasan at Karapatan ng Bata, Ipaglaban. In a report by UNICEF, 1 in 3 internet users globally is a child. In the Philippines, where internet users rank among the highest globally, over 73 are active and the younger ages are increasingly becoming more active online. This advocacy is a timely response to this growing change in our society. The ECCD Council adopted this for 2025 Early Years Fair with the theme Karapatan ng Bata sa Bawat Hakbang, Gabayan, Pangalagaan, Ipaglaban. This recognizes that both physical and online threats may occur across different settings, whether at home, centers, or public spaces. Experiences related to these threats can leave emotional and psychological harm, with some effects carried into adulthood. With this in mind, the 2025 Early Years Fair aims to uphold and promote children's right to safety in both physical, digital spaces, deepening every stakeholder's awareness and perspective, and fostering a shared responsibility in the effort to end Osaek, Sesaem. Through the Early Years Fair, we hope to empower parents, caregivers, families, and child development teachers and workers. Equip them with the appropriate knowledge and everyday practices to create and promote communities, safe spaces that nurture and support children's holistic development. As we celebrate the National Children's Month, let us create a country where children's rights are strongly protected, promoted and upheld, where children can learn, play, and grow. This is our shared responsibility. The ECCD Council, LGUs, stakeholders, and more importantly, families, working together so that every Filipino child has opportunities to survive and thrive. Once again, Happy Children's Month to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Insyong, for your very inspiring message. Truly, we recognize that our responsibility goes beyond the physical space, especially with children in the early years starting to access the digital space already. Guided by Republic Act number 12199, the Council continues its work with local government units, ECCD stakeholders, families, and communities in creating a country where children can learn, play, and grow. Now let us also hear from ECCD Council member agencies as well as partner organizations who share this commitment for every young Filipino.
To the officials and staff of the Early Childhood Care and Development Council, led by Executive Director Dr. Teresita Insyong, and to all the participants of the Early Years Fair, isang makabatang araw sa inyong lahat. The Department of Social Welfare and Development is honored to support the 2025 Early Years Fair with the theme Karapatan ng Bata sa Bawat Hakbang, Gabayan, Pangalagaan, Ipaglaban. This event, held in time for the National Children's Month celebration, underscores our shared responsibility to guide our children in their growing up years and our mutual commitment to uphold their rights and welfare. In today's fast-changing world, we must secure the safety of our children in the online digital platforms and to the influences that may harm them in the community that they live in, especially amid rising threats such as online sexual abuse and exploitation, and the proliferation of child sexual abuse or exploitation materials. The Early Years Fair provides an important platform for dialogue and advocacy on these issues. As a proud member of the ECCD Council, the DSWD reaffirms its full support to the implementation of Republic Act 10410, also known as the Early Years Act of 2013, by extending technical assistance to ensure that child development centers and child development workers adhere to the quality standards of care and learning. Once again, congratulations to the ECCD Council for organizing the 2025 Early Years Fair. Let us continue to collaborate to secure a brighter, safer, and nurturing environment for all Filipino children. Maraming salamat.
Good day, everyone. On behalf of the National Nutrition Council, I am honored to join you in the 2025 Early Years Fair with the theme Karapatan ng Bata sa Bawat Hakbang, Gabayan, Pangalagaan, Ipaglaban. I extend my sincerest congratulations to the Early Childhood Care and Development Council for organizing this initiative and for your tireless commitment in promoting early childhood care and development in the Philippines. To give our youngest learners the best head start, we shared a system that nurtures and supports them. Every effort we make, whether in health, nutrition, education, or childcare, this will shape the kind of future they will be. When we provide children the best beginning, we build them a stronger foundation para silang mas maging malakas, handa, at matatag. When children are well-nourished and well-cared, they are more likely to perform better in school, prevent illness, and grow into capable, responsible adults who contribute to nation building. However, the reality remains that many Filipino children still face the burden of malnutrition, stunting, wasting, overnutrition, and micronutrient deficiencies that limit their potential. The National Nutrition Council, doubling our efforts to implement the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition 2023-2028 by focusing on the first 1,000 days of life strategy and local government mobilization strategy. Through the Tutok Kainan Dietary Supplementation Program, we can provide a bright head start for children on their first 1,000 days of life. The supplementary meals and dry feeding for nutritionally at-risk pregnant women and children are proven to improve nutritional status, lowering the rates of undernutrition in target areas. Sa susunod na 3 taon, asahan po ninyo na mas paitingin natin ang paglabas ng mga pulisiya at pagsuporta sa LGUs sa pamamagitan ng technical assistance at capacity building activities. Mas palalakasin natin ang advocacy sa mga local chief executives at LGUs upang mapondohan at maisagawa ang mga programa sa nutrisyon. Dahil ang issue sa nutrisyon ay usapin hindi lamang sa National Nutrition Council, kundi sa ibang sektor ng lokal na pamahalaan. We also acknowledge that today, aside from malnutrition and physical dangers, children face risks and effect of the digital world. Naglilipanan na ang online sexual abuse at exploitation, and the kind of issues we cannot just ignore. As the digital world expands, we need to guide and safeguard our children's online engagement. Kaya mahalaga ang proper guidance, digital literacy, at community vigilance ng bawat isa sa atin. So to the ECCD Council, thank you for leading this initiative and for continuing to champion early childhood care and development. To our partner agencies, local governments, and all advocates here, your commitment is what makes progress possible. To parents and caregivers, you are the heart of it all. Your love, patience, and everyday sacrifices are what truly nurture our nation's future. As we celebrate the Early Years Fair 2025, let's keep pushing. Let's make sure every child takes steps filled with protection, care, and love, because their future is our shared responsibility. Maraming salamat po at nabuhay ang bawat bakang Pilipino.
UNICEF stands in solidarity with the Early Childhood Care and Development Council as it leads the 2025 Early Years Fair, an inspiring celebration of our shared commitment to the rights of young children. We commend the Council's bold step in starting the implementation of the Republic Act 12199, or the new Early Childhood Care and Development System Law. This landmark legislation recognizes what science and experience have long told us, that the first 5 years of life are not just important, they are decisive. These are the years when a child's brain grows faster than any other time, when the foundations for lifelong learning, health, and emotional well-being are laid down. The Act affirms that children from birth to age 5 must be at the center of our national development agenda. It mandates a comprehensive system of care, one that safeguards their right to good health, adequate nutrition, safety and security, responsive caregiving, and opportunities for early learning. It is a promise to every child in the Philippines that they will be nurtured, protected, and given the best possible start in life. UNICEF will continue to support the Council in building the capacity of local governments to bring this law to life in every barangay, every home, and every child development center. A milestone in our partnership is the Philippine Early Learning and Development Standards, which now span the full early childhood period from birth to age 8. These standards are more than technical guidelines. They are a vision of what every child deserves: a smooth, supported transition into formal education and a learning journey that begins with love, play, and discovery. Together with the Council and local governments, UNICEF is implementing a model that strengthens the bridge between early childhood care and primary education. This model ensures that readiness is not just about school supplies or classroom seats, it's about communities that are ready to welcome children, families that are empowered, and services that are responsive. It includes child mapping to guide planning and budgeting, early identification systems for children with disabilities, and continuous professional development for our beloved child development workers and teachers, those who hold the hands of our youngest learners and guide them through their first steps into the world. This past year has been a time of meaningful progress, and we look ahead with hope and determination. UNICEF remains deeply committed to working with the Council to ensure that every child in the Philippines, especially those under 5, receive the nurturing care that they need to thrive. Because children are not just our future, they are our present, and they have the right to be given the best start in life. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang bawat bata sa Pilipinas. May every child in the Philippines thrive and flourish.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat, sa local government units, child development workers, guro, magulang, partners, at lalo na sa Early Childhood Care and Development Council. Ako po si Rina Lopez, President at Executive Director ng Knowledge Channel Foundation Incorporated or KCFI. Maligayang National Children's Month at Early Years Fair ngayong Nobyembre 2025 na naka-livestream sa Facebook ng Council. Ang temang Karapatan ng Bata sa Bawat Hakbang, Gabayan, Pangalagaan, Ipaglaban ay paalala na sa bawat yugto ng paglaki ng bata mula sa sinapupunan, sa unang yapak hanggang pangarap, dapat may kalinga at proteksyon. Katuwang dito ang pamilya, paaralan, pamayanan, at pamahalaan. Kasama rin ang kaligtasan online. Wakasan ang online sexual abuse or exploitation of children or OSAIC. Pang-aabusong nagaganap gamit ang internet. Wakasan ang child sexual abuse or exploitation materials or CSAEM ay anumang material kabilang ang AI-generated na naglalarawan ng ganoong pang-aabuso. Maliwanag, kapwa itong krimen sa ilalim ng Republic Act No. 11930, Anti-OSAIC and Anti-CSAEM Act na may mabibigat na parusa. Sa Knowledge Channel, ang kalinga ang puso ng aming gawain. Katuwang namin ang ECCD Council sa pagsasanay ng CDWs at mga guro at sa paglikha ng age-appropriate video lessons para sa mga bata, pamilya at caregivers. Upang ang kanta, laro, tanong, basa, tamang kain, kalinisan at kalusugan at yakap ay maging bahagi ng araw-araw sa tahanan at sa ating child development centers. Ang yakap ng pamilya, paaralan at pamayanan, iyan ang proteksyon ng bata. Pagmamahal, paggabay at kaligtasan at seguridad. Para sa konkretong gamit, mapanood at ma-access ninyo ang mga programa ng Knowledge Channel Foundation. Kagaya ng I Love You 1000 para sa first 1,000 days of a child. Hindok Wikipedia, yan din. TalkEd, musikantahan, at iba pa. Kwentong pambata, Kwentunes, at Kailusugan. Mapapanood to sa Knowledge Channel at sa YouTube at sa Knowledge Channel TV at KCPML or Portable Media Library para sa mga lugar na mahina ang internet. Meron rin kaming K-Care at upskilling trainings para sa mga CDWs, barangay workers, guro at magulang, kabilang ang child safety and protection. Inaanyayahan ko po kayong sumali sa ilulunsad naming pambansang pagkilos para sa mga batang 0 to 8. Nakasentro sa kanta, laro, tanong or usapan, basa, nutrisyon, kalusugan at yakap na nagbibigay proteksyon araw-araw sa mga bata. Makipag-ugnayan sa ECCD Council at sa Knowledge Channel Foundation upang maging katuwang sa inyong tahanan, mga child development centers, barangay at paaralan. Bawat yakap, bawat gabay, bawat bantay, ligtas ang bata, ligtas ang bukas. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang kabataang Pilipino.
Grabe! Nakakataba ng pusong malaman na hindi tayo nag-iisa sa adhikaing ito. Napaka-supportive ng mga member agencies natin. Ang iba dito, nagbigay ng kanilang statement of support na aming ibabahagi sa Facebook page ng ECCD Council. So, what have we prepared for this year's Early Years Fair? Let's take a look at what we have in store for you. On November 12, 2025, we'll be having a webinar entitled Vital Role and Practices of Local Government Units in Protecting and Upholding Children's Rights. This will feature a discussion highlighting local government efforts in implementing Republic Act No. 11930 or the Anti-OSAIC and Anti-SESAIM Act, ensuring children's protection in both physical and online spaces. On November 17, 2025, we'll be having a webinar on first aid for children, an important session that provides practical first aid knowledge and skills for child development teachers and workers, as well as parents and caregivers, empowering them to respond effectively to children's needs and emergencies. On November 19, 2025, we'll be featuring an interactive play activity for children in partnership with the Knowledge Channel Foundation Incorporated. This activity will promote learning through play and creative exploration. On November 21, 2025, we'll be having a webinar entitled Nurturing Safe, Supportive, and Inclusive Early Learning Environment. A session focused on equipping child development teachers and workers and parents and caregivers with strategies to create safe and inclusive learning spaces aligned with RA 12199. On November 26, 2025, we'll be having a storytelling session with Kuya Ray Buffy. He is the founder of Basa Bookstore and the Storytelling Project. Kuya Ray brings inspiring stories that spark imagination and a love for reading among children. On November 28, 2025, the Early Years Fair closing program. This is a program culmination featuring local government units 2025 National Children's Month celebration. All the programs and activities will be streamed live on the ECCD Council Facebook page and YouTube channel. And the best part is, this is open to everyone. Those who will participate in the webinars we've prepared will receive a certificate of participation if they accomplish the evaluation form. So you have to join us live and stay tuned because all the instructions will be given during the webinar. Muli, lahat po ng program at activity ng 2025 Early Years Fair ay mapapanood ng libre sa ECCD Council Facebook page at YouTube channel. Follow our Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel for updates. We invite local government units to send in their photos and videos related to their celebration of the 2025 National Children's Month. You can send these to our email at ieka.eccdcouncil@gmail.com. That's ieka.eccdcouncil@gmail.com. The videos and photos you'll be sending in will be featured during the closing program of the 2025 Early Years Fair. Muli, inaanyayahan namin ang mga local government units na magpadala ng litrato tsaka ng mga video na may kinalaman sa kanilang celebration ng 2025 National Children's Month. Itong mga ipapadala nyo sa amin ay ipapalabas sa 2025 Early Years Fair closing program. As we celebrate this year's 2025 National Children's Month through the Early Years Fair, let us come together to celebrate children by upholding their right to survival, protection, development, and participation, not bound by the limits of the physical space. Let us continue to stand up, speak up, and champion the future of every Filipino child. Once again, I am Kara Uy, Program Development Officer, and on behalf of the ECCD Council, we wish everyone a happy National Children's Month. Bye!